So, hi everybody, welcome to Come Spin With Me episode 7. And today we are going to actually feature chain plying and a finished yarn. So I recorded the plying portion of the video last night because I somehow miraculously managed to finish spinning. Finish. God. It's been a super long day. Really super long day. So sorry, my words just are not coming out right. Anywho, I miraculously managed to finish the singles on Monday night, and then last night I was ready to ply, and I thought since I had the evening free, I would go ahead and record the plying portion and then try and finish plying up the singles and doing the finishing work on the skein, which is soaking it in hot water with some soak wool wash and then whacking it. We call it thwacking to set the twist. So I take it outside into the backyard, and I have a basketball pole that used to be my son's basketball hoop out there, and I whack it on that pole a few times and then bring it in and hang it up to dry. And I managed to do that last night. So we do have a finished yarn to show at the end of the video, which should be exciting. And I talk about some big news that I got on Monday during the plying portion. So for the introduction portion, I thought that I would show you guys the two different fibers that I'm thinking about spinning next, since my wheel is empty. Oh my God, can't have that. So I went into the room of shame upstairs, and boop, I didn't set a timer, so I have to keep my eyes on what I'm doing. I went up into the room of shame earlier today, and I had in my mind a fiber that I got a really long time ago, and I believe that I got 9 bumps, but I can only find 8. So I got, I think I got 9 packages of it, though. I'm sure there's one that's lost up there. And it was a custom order, a November spin-along order for AllSpunUp. And it goes back to 2011. It was, I believe, the first time I remember her dyeing Polwar silk. And if you know me, you know that Polwar silk is my #1 most favorite. I love it. It's my favorite fiber blend to spin. I like silk blends a lot. So I love BFL silk, merino silk, anything that you want to toss silk into. It makes the spinning wonderful for me. But if you add it to Polwar, it is my #1, my holy grail fiber to spin. So Kristen dyed up some absolutely stunning Polwar silk and then made it to order, so you could put in a request for however many you wanted. She dyed a ton of them up, and then you went to her Etsy shop back then and you ordered as many as you wanted. And I ended up going back 3 different times to order, and that's how I ended up getting 9 of them. But it's such a beautiful colorway, and I've been wanting to spin it, and the only thing that's been holding me back is the fact that I've got so many of them to do. But I'm really in the mood to do a traditional 3-ply, so it won't be a chain ply. I'll actually take 3 separate singles and ply them together, so I get a lot of color mixing. And I thought this would be perfect for that. I've seen this fiber spun up by other people, both as a traditional 3-ply, I've seen it as a 2-ply, and I've seen it as a chain ply. And I don't think that there's a wrong way to spin this fiber. So let me show you what I have here. This is, she didn't braid it, but she kind of wound it up into a little, kind of hanked it like a hank of yarn. But it is Polwar silk. I believe it's, what's the combination? It's 85% Polwar, 15% silk. So it's kind of a low silk content for my preference. I like 70-30 or, you know, 80-20. But this will still be fantastic. You can see that it's got some amazing colors in it. Burgundy, yellow, navy blue, green. It's just absolutely stunning. So that is one of my choices. And again, I know I bought 9 bags of it. I can only find 8, but if I could spin up 3 of these, I think that would be amazing. If I could spin up 6, it would be even better. because I've got enough bobbins for my mini spinner to put one of these on each bobbin and then ply them. I have a 4th bobbin to ply onto. So I could make a sweater quantity of this yarn. So tell me what you guys think of this. And then the other one that I have is another, let's see, this is Polworth, just plain Polworth, and it's a colorway called Safest Houses. I got this from 2 If by Hand, and it's a color dyed by Jalen, or Jalen. I'm terrible. I am so awful with her name. I said it wrong in front of someone who's a friend of hers, who is my friend Sarah, Lime Juicy on Ravelry, who's friends with Jalen, and I said her name, I kept calling her Salen, because it's with a C, and poor Sarah kept correcting me. She was so sweet, trying not to make me feel bad, and I still, to this day, am not very good at pronouncing her name. Anyway, she dyed this for 2 If by Hand, and I absolutely adore it. Again, do you see a theme here with that beautiful burgundy, kind of purpley red and yellow mixed together? I don't know what that is, but I love that combination. And this includes some little bit of green and then a little bit of, I don't know if it's not really playing well or showing up well to the camera, but this section right here in real life is teal. That's a teal color. I know it's reading blue on my camera, like really blue, but in real life that is very teal. And then it's got a few spaces where it's almost white, which I actually love. I know that there are a lot of people that really don't like it when they buy a dyed fiber and they find sections of white. I don't mind it, and as Sam, I'm sure, is laughing right now, because I love anything that's white, any shade of white, right? So I actually really like it when there's a little bit of white, especially when I'm going to do a traditional 3-ply, because it just adds a little depth when it shows up in the plies. But for this one, I was thinking if I spin this one next instead of the AllSpunUp next, I have 2. Here's another bag of the Safest Houses. It's the same as this, it's just not braided. I was thinking that I might actually try and spin a little thicker to get maybe somewhere between a DK and a worsted weight. And if I do that, then I might actually still do a chain ply with it. I don't want to try to spin thicker and do a 3-ply because I'm kind of inconsistent if I don't do my default thickness of spinning, which is very thin. Frog hair, we call it frog hair. So when I don't do my default and I'm actually having to concentrate, the thickness of my singles kind of fluctuates. So rather than trying to do a 3-ply, a traditional 3-ply that way, I think it would be better for me to do a chain ply, because that way I don't have an odd amount of singles on any one bobbin. I'll be able to use all my singles up, which is, you know, again, I've said that before, one of the benefits to doing a chain ply as a 3-ply instead of the traditional is you don't end up with wasted singles. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking about doing. So you guys let me know what your choice would be if it were up to you. What would you spin next? And hopefully at some point tonight, I'll actually get around to starting one of these 2, and I will let you know next week which one I chose, since it will be included in the Come Spin With Me episode that I do next week. So I'm going to go ahead and end this first section, and then I will put in the footage that I recorded last night of the plying, and then after that's done, I'll come back and I'll do a closing segment where I will actually show you the finished yarn that you have been watching me spin since the very beginning of this series. So I'll see you in a few minutes. Enjoy the plying segment. Thanks. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm sure I will say something about this in my introduction tomorrow, but it's Tuesday and I actually did finish my singles yesterday, so I'm recording the plying footage a day early so that I can hopefully get this done. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to be doing a chain ply, and what I do to start is I create a slip knot in the end of my singles. I take that slip knot and I have a slip knot in the end of my leader yarn that I have on my bobbin, which is what I'm attaching my singles to, and I pull it through, and then basically all you do with chain plying is you're creating one loop after another. It's like finger crocheting. So I'm turning on the spinner to add the twist, then I'm pulling out my loop, I'm holding the single in the center of that loop, and I am sliding my fingers up those 3 yarns to create the 3 ply, and my fingers are pinching to hold the twist out of the area that I don't want it to go into yet. So I am just creating chain loops with my singles and then sliding the twist in and allowing the finished yarn to be drawn onto the bobbin. And that's all there is to chain plying. I'm not sure about this angle, I'm not sure about the lighting, and these singles are very, very thin, so I honestly am not sure how much of this you're actually going to get to see. But hopefully you can see something and not my face, because it is Tuesday, which is the last day before hair washing day, and I am a hot mess, or as the kids these days say it, I am ratchet. I am ratchet. But as you can see, this keeps the colors together because you're actually taking the single and creating a 3 ply out of a single yarn rather than out of 3 different plies or 3 different singles on 3 different bobbins. So this way the color runs that were spun into the single are staying together. This will create a lot less barber pulling in the finished yarn and a lot longer solid color repeats or solid color runs in the finished yarn. Again, this is the Hello Yarn Falkland in the colorway Critter. Oh, and I got such a big happy surprise in my email box on Monday, and I haven't tweeted about it because I have some guilt, but I will tell you guys because you're my friends and I know you won't say anything. Well, you might, and hopefully you won't judge me, but if you do, that's okay too. Anyway, the Hello Yarn fiber club run by Adrian, I believe it's oh, I'm not even going to say her last name, not gonna attempt it, but Adrian over at Hello Yarns has a fiber club where you pay a 3 months in advance, and basically she does a colorway each month and she mails it to you in exchange for that. And her club is membership in her club anyway is much sought after. And many years ago, probably I would say conservatively 7, 8 years ago, I discovered Adrian and her fiber club and fell in love. The only problem was, at the time, Adrian didn't even have an open waiting list because so many people wanted into her club. She had opened the waiting list for a period of time, and when it got out of hand, she closed the waiting list, and she was waiting until she had invited all the people that were on that list into the club before she created another waiting list and opened it up for people to get on. So that just happened last year. She finally, after this incredibly long period of time, she finally was able to open up for a new waiting list. Not even new spots in the club, but just opened up her waiting list. And I managed to get on it. Oh, it was a miracle. And Monday morning, when I logged into my computer, waiting for me in my inbox was my invitation to the Hello Yarn Fiber Club. Oh my God. Literally, my hands were shaking. I was so excited. So excited. And so I managed to get in. I am thrilled. I couldn't be happier. But I also feel a little bit of guilt, and I'll tell you why. I recently, as you guys probably know, because I whined and pouted and cried about it, I recently had to cancel my membership in another fiber club that I had been a member of for years and years and years. And I think we all know whose that was, David of Southern Cross. And I just hadn't been spinning enough ever since Sam got me all hooked on doing makeup. I don't think I had touched my spinning wheel for almost 6 months, and the room of shame upstairs is so filled with fiber, I'm just never ever going to get to spinning all of it in my lifetime. I just won't. So I just couldn't justify continuing to get 2 packages of fiber from David every month, because I signed up for a double dose because I'm greedy like that. And so I was getting 2 different colorways of his fiber every month, and it was just piling up. I actually have bags of his fiber that I got that I haven't even opened. I got them out of the mailbox and just put them on the pile and haven't even opened them, and that's shameful. That really is a shame. But after I canceled that membership, I thought, boy, it'll just be my luck that I'm going to cancel the membership in David's club, and right after I'll get invited to Hello Yarn. And I couldn't not accept the membership in Hello Yarn, because it's literally been, I've wanted in her club for at least 7-8 years. And there's just no way that I could say no, because it would be another, you know, it's not like I could turn around and say, put me back on the waiting list. The waiting list that I got onto is closed as well. So there's no telling how long it would take me to get on the list. And I know that David would understand, but I felt kind of bad. So I didn't, you know, jump up and down with happy dancing on Twitter or Ravelry or anything other than in the Hello Yarn group. I haven't posted about getting into the Hello Yarn Fiber Club anywhere else, because I just have that little pang of guilt. I do feel kind of bad. But I am truly, truly excited that I got into the Hello Yarn Club, and I'm sure that I'm in the club. My first month should be May, so next month I should get my first fiber from her. Club fiber from her anyway, and I'll be able to share it with you guys in my Come Spin With Me videos. That's so exciting. So I am cruising along. Ooh, I'm on a pretty orange section. I love orange. Love orange. So while I am plying here, I just want to give a quick shout out to Blake over at Eat, Sleep, Stitch. I think I've been saying the name of his podcast wrong for a very long time, because I think I keep calling it Eat, Sleep, Knit. But his podcast is actually called Eat, Sleep, Stitch, and he uploaded his first official podcast episode today, and it was fabulous. It was absolutely amazing. So Blake, dude, good job. You were very natural. I know you started out by saying, oh, this is so awkward. If you ever want to see something awkward and funny, go to Sam's channel, Kermit Von Frog 12, and look for the very first video that she uploaded on her YouTube channel. It was a riot. Oops, I think my timer is up. Hang on. I actually noticed the timer this time, even though I reset it, or I thought I had changed it so that I would hear my alarm. I didn't hear it still, so I guess we still have to sort some things out with the timer, but at least I didn't get cut off. Anywho, I hate stopping and starting when I am doing chain ply. It is, speaking of awkward, very, very awkward. I may do just a little bit of extra spinning footage today, just in case I need to splice, or maybe just to have a little bit more footage of the chain plying, in case it seems like anyone's interested. Maybe this will be a longer video. But anyway, if you ever want to see that, Blake, go check out that very first one. It was adorable. She was so sweet and so shy, and look at her now. 200 videos later, and she's amazing. My friend Sam, Kermit my Frog, over on YouTube, is one of my favorite YouTubers. I love going over and watching her makeup videos because they are insightful and educational, and she is glamorous and beautiful. And she helps me feel prettier too. I love you, Sam. So anyways, I thought your podcast was great, Blake. I didn't think you were awkward at all. I thought you were very, very natural. You made me laugh. I thought it was a great length, and it was very interesting. I loved all your shout outs. I even learned about some new podcasts that I hadn't heard about before, so I'll get to check those out. But I seriously can't wait for your next one, dude. And I'm so excited that you're interested in spinning. I really, really am. And if you have any questions, I will do my best to help you. Probably not the easiest thing to help somebody with long distance, but if there is anything that I can do, I will certainly try. I think you're going to really enjoy it, and I can't wait for you to get that fiber that you ordered, because it just looked awesome. When I went to that Etsy site and saw it, it just was beautiful. And you're right, it is brights like the 80s. Absolutely gorgeous. And Helen, I watched your last podcast and you look so beautiful. So beautiful. You look beautiful every time I see you, because I think your beauty comes from the inside, my dear. But boy, the makeup that you put on, you looked spectacular, like $1,000,000. And that log cabin, that giant log cabin blanket that you're making, I am so jealous. I'm on my the fourth square for my log cabin blanket. I don't know how you manage to maneuver that gigantic thing as one big log cabin. I think I have to stick with my smaller squares, especially out here. It's starting to really heat up. Summer is here with a vengeance already. And my AC cannot keep up with a 60-pound wool blanket in my lap while I'm trying to knit on it. So you are a superhero knitting on that thing. It's just gorgeous. And hopefully you're able to see this, because I know you had asked about chain plying, Helen. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to finish these singles so that I could show this to you, and I'm not even sure how much you're going to be able to see, but hopefully enough. Hopefully you'll be able to see enough. And if possible, maybe I can slow down the movements when I film my intro and just give you an idea ahead of time what these motions are that you're going to be seeing when you watch this part of the video. But anyway, so this is chain plying. I hope that you found this interesting. I'm going to try very hard to finish chain plying this bobbin of singles today. I'm just gonna pause here, and then if we're lucky and I get them done, then hopefully I'll be able to finish the yarn by soaking it and whacking it and hanging it up to dry, so that when I film the episode, the Come Spin With Me episode tomorrow, we'll have something to close out the show with, like maybe a finished yarn, and you'll be able to see the end product. So thanks for watching this segment, and I will see you guys shortly. Thanks again. So welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the plying portion of the video. I hope that you were able to see. I filmed it over in my family room area where the TV is, and I'm not sure how good the lighting was. I've gone back and looked at the footage earlier today just to see, and I think you can actually see what I'm doing with my hands, so I'm not going to do a slowdown of the movements here. If you would like to see something a little bit more detailed on the chain plying, just let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do. There are a bunch of YouTube videos out there already of people demonstrating how to chain ply, so I'm not so sure that my videos should be the instructional ones. So if you're looking for instruction on how to do the chain ply, I would suggest just going into YouTube and doing a search for chain ply or Navajo ply. And if you still want some more detail and I can help you out, let me know again in the comments and I'll do what I can. But I want to just close out today's or this week's episode by showing you the finished yarn that I made. So drum roll please, drum roll please. Ta-da! So this is the Hello yarn in Critter that you have been watching me spin since the very beginning of Come Spin With Me. It's the only thing you've gotten to see me spin. And it is a chain ply 3-ply or a Navajo ply that kept, you can see when I was doing the plying portion and I was talking about how the chain ply keeps the color runs together, or keeps the colors together so you get long solid color sections in your finished yarn. This kind of shows you that. You can see here's a purple section here, here's an orange section here. So when I knit this up into something, it will stripe, and the width of the stripes will be, it'll fluctuate. There's not going to be a real consistent. You can see here that beautiful. I don't know how well it's showing up color-wise, but that's a really, really pale green in there. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, but I have about 500, I think it was 526 yards is what it totaled out to be. And that's plenty for something. If it's not, if I don't use it for a pair of socks, then maybe a scarf, a little tiny shawl. I'm not much of a shawl knitter and I'm not much of a shawl wearer. And since this is Falkland, it's not necessarily something that I want up around my neck, but I had originally planned on doing socks with this, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I want it on my feet. Maybe I want it closer to my face. Maybe I want it somewhere else. I don't know. Mustache? Critter mustache? What do you think? So anyway, that's the finished yarn. I appreciate you going through the process with me. I didn't get a chance to film putting it on the nitty knotty or tying it off or soaking it or anything. I think that's probably kind of boring, and who wants to watch somebody wind yarn on a nitty knotty? Not me. But if you do, let me know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Next week I should be starting on, or have started on, a new fiber. It'll either be the Safest Houses from Two of My Hand, there's the other one, or it will be the Pulwar Silk from AllSpunUp in Tapestry. So one of these two will be on the wheel next week, and I look forward to seeing you guys then. I hope you tune in next week for another episode of Come Spin With Me, and I hope you enjoyed this week's. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you later. Bye.